So, hello there again. Today, I was thinking that I might share with you all a reflection that I had the great privilege of being able to offer as a as a hospice spiritual caregiver at a recent burial service I officiated at for one of the special gentlemen on our service. I I often say to the families of our patients when they talk about the work that we do, um, I often say to them, well, it's really a great privilege and a gift for us as hospice clinicians, because when at least when I think about it, if I were to consider my life a book with a whole lot of chapters, I realized that a certain number of chapters in this book of life of mine might be devoted to the hospice patients and families that I've gotten to know. And of course, we don't often get to know these people for long periods of time. Um, Sometimes we only know them for a very short period. That may very well be the reason that it becomes that much more important to kind of get to know the person for who they really are, and to do our very best to celebrate, um, and to honor who they really are. Let them know that they've been seen and heard, that uh, that it matters, that they've been on this earth, that they've walked this earth, that it matters, um, that they are who they are. And so I often bring that kind of experience to the services, the funeral and or burial services that I'm asked to put together and to officiate at. And so this was another such situation when I was asked to do the service for this gentleman. And as I was considering his life and his example, it occurred to me that really his life connects really, really well, and the example that he gave through the life he lived connects really well to these times that we're finding ourselves in, as we continue staying at home and physically distancing ourselves, and to get ourselves through this time of this pandemic. Um, and so I thought I'd share that. Um, in place of using his name, of course, I will use the pronoun he or this man. Um, and Yeah, I'll just share with you the reflection, and you can see whether you feel that it has something to do with what we're going through right now, and whether you too might find yourself inspired and touched by this man's life and example. So, if this man loved one thing next to his beloved wife, his children, and his family, it was driving. Whether on those long trips cross country in his RV with his wife, oftentimes by his side, or the daily trips he made delivering baked goods, this man absolutely loved to drive. And, and as I considered that he and his wife made 2 different cross country trips, it occurred to me that they would have had to keep moving on. They wouldn't have been able to stay in one place for too terribly long. And it called to mind a story from the Bible about how Jesus sent the 12 disciples out on the journey of their lifetimes. They didn't take much more than what was on their back. And Jesus told them, whatever town or village you enter, find out who is worthy there and stay until you leave. As you enter a house, greet the family. If the house is worthy, let your peace fall upon that house. But if it is not worthy, let your peace return to you. If anyone doesn't welcome you or listen to your words, shake off the dust from your feet as you leave that house or town. Now, yeah, these words were spoken specifically to a certain group of 12 people a long time ago. But there's some pretty darn good words for this journey we call life. And in his own way, this man made these words real for living in his love of driving. Whether across this wide country bit by bit in his RV with his wife, or in all his delivery runs to the numbers of different places he'd deliver all of his yummy baked goods. Yes, he and his wife, oftentimes with him, found themselves in numbers of different places. And with his good-natured, friendly gift of gab, this man would greet and talk with, get to know all the people in these many places, and he'd find the many worthy people that made that place a place of value. Some places, like specifically their winter home in Florida, they'd stay until that time would come when then they'd leave, quite literally, just like Jesus told his disciples about their journey so long ago. When it came time to leave, this man would shake the dust from his feet, get into his car, truck, or RV, and drive on once more. But of course, let's never forget, before going on, this man some knew as the donut man or the bread man would also often leave something sweet and tasty behind. You see, life takes us so many different places, doesn't it? Some of those places, we plan for proudly, and we work hard towards getting to. Other places surprise us in exciting and some not so exciting ways. Still other places feel like we're suddenly and violently dropped or thrown into, totally unprepared. That's when it becomes really important to be able to find those people in these different places and situations in life who are worthy and with whom we can talk and connect, relate, and know we're not there alone. And when we're blessed enough to find those people, to stay in that place long enough, to let the kindness and or the sincerity of people bring us a sense of peace, a sense of belonging in that place. And if it isn't a place or a situation where you seem to be able to find those kind of people for yourselves or for ourselves, if it just isn't a place in our heart of hearts that we feel we belong or want to be anymore, to be willing and courageous enough to leave, shaking the dust from our feet, leaving what wasn't working, what didn't feel right or good, completely and totally behind us as we move intentionally onward and forward to the promise of the next place. And while we may often along this journey we call life feel we need an exact destination, a clear idea of the next place we need to be heading, a route all mapped out, the latest and best in GPS systems, We may sometimes just need, instead, to surrender ourselves to the journey. Let go. Let go of what we've been clinging or holding onto, because it's what we've had, it's what we've known, and instead set out without knowing it all, without even necessarily knowing where exactly we'll end up or how exactly we'll get there. Letting the journey itself and all that's around us just kinda touch our hearts, feed our spirits, and teach us about what it means to really live and to be alive. And perhaps we'll even begin to get more in touch with our own inner GPS, that inner knowing that lets us know when we need to stay where we are just a bit longer to learn and discover and maybe even offer more. And when it's time to regard a place with thanksgiving and deeper understanding for all it's been, the difficult and the painful, the promising and the hopeful, only then to say goodbye to it, let it go, and move on with open hearts and minds to the next place and all its possibilities. Yes, life is about taking journeys and really exploring the world around us. This man and his wife literally did that by jumping in their motorhome, hitting the open road and taking in all the new sights and sounds, getting to know so many new people. Or maybe it was done on their many bike rides. For others of us, the journeys may be different. For some of us, they may be journeys within, to those deep places that want healing and understanding and peace, as we look within our own human selves to make greater sense, make meaning for ourselves and others of this journey we're all on, called life, in all its wildness. Perhaps some of us find ourselves on journeys of discovery and exploration, of creating new wonders that help make the world a safer and brighter place for us all. But one other thing that the life and example of this special man teaches us all is that we all need a place, wherever and whatever that may be, whatever that may look like, that we can call home. It is a place where we can go and rest when the journey gets too exhausting, too lonely, or when we're feeling completely lost and without any sense of direction. And we can go to that place we know and call home, and know that if only for a while, we are safe, secure, and loved, where we can regain our strength, maybe, our sense of who we are, our general sense of direction, so that we can once again set out on this ongoing journey called life. And let us learn from this man and his wife that home is a place we make for ourselves. It's a place built on our own foundation of our understandings of who we are and our place within this amazing and beautiful and diverse human family, and among and with and upon this planet that we all call home.